That clip, that was hour 18 of a 24-hour lockdown. What you just heard was a voice, clear as day, telling us to get out. What you saw was pure, unfiltered terror. Welcome to Whispers Estate in the tiny town of Mitchell, Indiana. This beautiful Victorian home has a dark reputation. It's famous for being ranked by the Travel Channel as the 4th most terrifying place in America. And tonight, I was going to find out why. The house was built back in 1894, and a few years later, it became the home and office of a local doctor, Dr. John Gibbons. For over 2 decades, he treated patients right inside these walls, and the legend says many of them never left. The house gets its chilling name from what people report most: disembodied whispers that seem to follow you from room to room. They say this place is crowded with spirits, victims of tragedy, sickness, and maybe something that's never been human. We locked ourselves inside for 24 hours, no going back. We had our gear and one goal: make contact with the ghosts of Whispers Estate and capture proof of the whispers that made this place infamous. This was going to be insane. The door locked behind us as the sun went down. I introduced Chloe, our tech manager, and the skeptic of the team. She rolled her eyes and said, "Skeptic is a little harsh. I just think we need to rule out all the logical stuff before we start blaming ghosts. And trust me, an old house like this is gonna have a lot of logical stuff. Drafts, noisy pipes, the foundation settling, you name it." Then there was Ben, absolutely not a skeptic. He pulled his jacket tighter and glanced around nervously. "I just feel things, you know? In this place, the air is heavy, it's thick, you can almost feel the history." And that history was brutal. I told them about Dr. Gibbons and his wife Jessie, who moved in around 1999 and adopted several children. One of them, their 10-year-old adopted daughter Rachel, supposedly started a fire in the front parlor on Christmas morning. She was horribly burned and died in an upstairs bedroom 2 days later. People say she's still one of the most active spirits here, that you can hear her running around. Tragedy didn't stop there. Shortly after, their 10-month-old baby Elizabeth died from unknown causes in the master bedroom. Just weeks later, Jessie developed pneumonia and passed away in that same room. I couldn't imagine being a doctor, a healer, surrounded by that much death in your own home. And that was just one family. Others died here too. A man who fell in the upstairs bathroom, and a young boy who fell down the main staircase. When people say this house is crowded, they're not kidding. Chloe finally admitted, "Okay, the history lesson is officially creeping me out." She started setting up our home base in the foyer. 8 cameras feeding into a DVR and audio recorders in all the hotspots. We planned to start on the first floor, Dr. Gibbons' old office. Ben groaned sarcastically, "The rooms where people might have actually died on the operating table. Awesome." Exactly what I was thinking. The energy there would be intense. We had EMF meters, a spirit box for spirit voices, REM pods for motion detection, and full spectrum cameras. If something was here, we were going to find it.
When we entered the doctor's office, I could almost smell the antiseptic. The room felt cold and clinical. I asked Chloe if the EMF picked up anything. She swept the device and said, "Dead flat, 0.0. Exactly what you'd expect in a room with no power." I placed a REM pod on an old medical table. If a spirit or any energy source gets near this antenna, it'll light up and scream, I explained. Ben suddenly froze in one corner. "Guys, I don't like this corner. It's freezing right here. Like, It doesn't feel natural. Chloe walked over with a thermal camera. Let's find out. Wall is 68 degrees. Floor is 67. You are 98. The spot you're talking about, 67.5. Everything's normal, probably just a draft from the old window. But Ben whispered, "It's not a draft. It feels like someone is standing right here, watching me." I decided to use that energy. We went dark and started our first spirit box session. I asked, "Is there anyone in the room with us? Can you tell us your name?" The spirit box scanned with nothing but static. Chloe whispered, "So quiet. Some paranormal teams spend a lot of money to stay here and walk away with nothing. Maybe it's all just stories." I told her, "Give it a second. Sometimes they need time." I asked, "Is Dr. Gibbons here? Did your patients die in here?" A faint sigh slipped through the static. Ben gasped, "Whoa, did you hear that?" Chloe admitted, "I heard something, but it could be anything." I urged whatever was there to make a louder noise or touch the REM pod. Nothing happened. We moved upstairs, but first I tried something. People say toys left for Rachel sometimes move. I took a red ball from my bag and placed it at the top of the main staircase, pointing a camera right at it. If Rachel wanted to play, she just needed to give it a push. Then we entered the master bedroom, the room where baby Elizabeth died, where Jessie died from pneumonia. Some people report feeling a heavy weight on their chest when they sleep here. Ben put a hand to his chest. "I feel it. My chest is already tight. It's hard to breathe." Chloe said gently, "That's probably just your mind playing tricks. We're talking about suffocation and pneumonia, so you're starting to feel it." Ben shook his head. "No, it's different. It feels like it's coming from outside of me." I called out softly, asking Jessie and Elizabeth if they were there. I told them we were sorry for what they went through. The spirit box crackled, and a faint humming melody drifted through, beautiful and unmistakable. Chloe breathed, "Whoa, that was different. Play that back." I rewound it. It was a voice, clear, not radio. Ben whispered, "It's Jessie. She's here. They say you can sometimes hear her struggling to breathe."
I don't know.
Suddenly, a loud thump echoed up from downstairs. "What was that?" Chloe shouted. "It came from the stairs. The ball. Go," I yelled. We rushed out. The ball was gone from the top step, now sitting at the bottom. Chloe ran to a window. "It has to be a draft. The AC or an open window, something." I said, "Chloe, that ball sat there for over an hour. And it rolls the moment we get a voice? That's not coincidence." We checked the footage. The ball sat still, then wobbled as if nudged by an invisible finger, then rolled down the stairs. Ben whispered, terrified, "It moved. It moved on its own." Chloe stared at the screen, pale. I can't explain that. That wasn't a roll. It was a push. I have no logical explanation. Our night had officially begun.
There was one place left. The attic. The heart of the haunting. We climbed the narrow stairs into a hot, suffocating space. Ben shivered. "This feels terrible up here. Something else is here. Something heavier." People talk about a dark shadow figure they call Big Black. They say it isn't human. Chloe set up the SLS camera. "If there's something human-shaped up here, this'll find it." We sat in total darkness. I whispered, "Is anyone up here with us? They call this Whisper's Estate for a reason. Can you whisper for us?" Silence.
then scratching in the corner. Ben trembled. "Do you hear that? Scratching?" Chloe pointed the SLS camera. "I hear it. Nothing on the screen yet. Keep talking." "Who's scratching? What's your name?" I asked. The spirit box suddenly hissed violently, and a raspy whisper cut through. "Leave." We froze. Chloe said, "It said leave. I heard it perfectly." Ben's voice shook. That wasn't Rachel. That wasn't Jesse. That sounded angry. I asked, "You want us to leave? Why?" The scratching stopped. A low, guttural growl began behind Ben. He whispered in terror, "There's something right behind me. I can feel it breathing on my neck." Chloe swung the SLS camera around. A twisted, hunched stick figure was standing directly over Ben. "Oh my God!" she screamed. "It's right behind him!" Ben shrieked and scrambled backward. The figure vanished. Then, the door at the bottom of the attic stairs slammed shut with a deafening boom. "We have to go, now!" I shouted. We grabbed our gear and practically fell down the stairs, bursting onto the second floor landing, gasping for breath. "That wasn't a ghost," I panted. "That was something else, something hostile." Ben stuttered. "It touched me. I felt it. The growl was right in my ear." Chloe stared at the camera, pale. A figure on the SLS, a growl and a door slam in 30 seconds? There's no explanation. This place is truly haunted. By sunrise, we were drained. I said, "It's 7 a.m. Our 24 hours are over. I've never been happier to see the sun." Ben muttered that he hadn't slept, haunted by the growl. Chloe reviewed footage all night. Ball movement, humming, multiple clear voices, and the thing in the attic. The evidence was overwhelming. So, was Whispers Estate one of the most terrifying places in America? After that night, absolutely. We came looking for whispers, and we found far more. Voices, growls, and something intelligent, maybe malevolent. As I unlocked the front door, light flooding in, I said, "We survived the night, but I think a little piece of this house is coming home with us." Thank you for joining us. What do you think that thing in the attic was? Who was talking through the spirit box? Drop your theories below. We read all of them. And if you want to see us lock ourselves in more haunted places, hit subscribe and ring the bell. This was terrifying, and we're just getting started. Stay safe.